I'm going to show you the technique that'll have both the biggest and the fastest change in your guitar tone, even if you are on an electric guitar. My name is Dylan Asina. I've been a professional guitarist for almost 20 years, and this channel is here to help you level up your guitar playing through the science and the mechanics behind your guitar technique. So, what is this technique? Let's get into it. I'm talking about the angle of attack you have on the guitar string. Whether it's more head-on or rotated, we're going to break down what angle you want for what tone, how it works, and as a bonus at the end, I'll show you how to do this with a plectrum as well. Most people start playing with their hand head onto the string, 90 degrees to the string, and this gives you a real choppiness in your sound. This choppiness comes from your finger getting caught on the string, and when your finger gets caught on the string, your hand starts to compromise on your technique by either lifting your knuckle up to play or by jumping your hand before playing the next note. Instead, we want to play with an angle across the string. What this is going to do is it's going to reduce friction and let your finger glance off the string, not get caught, and get rid of that choppiness while warming up your tone. So let's put these two side by side so you can hear the sound difference between the hand more head on and more of an angle across the strings. So starting with the hand a little more head on, we get this sound. You can hear the fingers getting stuck on the string, having to jump through the string, giving you both a sharper and that more choppy sound that we're trying to avoid. On the flip side, if I do it with my hand at roughly a 45-degree angle across the string, this is what we get instead. As you can hear, it is much warmer sound. We don't get that choppiness. Instead, we get a nice, smooth legato sound throughout the phrase. As a baseline angle that we can both warm up the tone from or make it a little brighter if we want to be aiming for roughly 45 degrees across the string. As you can hear there, we've got a little bit of brightness in the sound, but it isn't giving that choppiness that we're trying to avoid. If we go a little more head on to the string, so aiming at about 30 degrees, this will brighten up the sound a little more. So this is something you might use in either some lute music or something where you want that extra bit of brightness, that almost steel-like sound out of your guitar. Then on the flip side, if I want to really warm up the sound, get a really round sound in it, I would be aiming at maybe even 60 to 70 degrees, which will feel almost like you're playing straight along the string. As you can hear, it makes it far warmer and gives you a much more legato sound. The feedback I have got through hundreds of students trying this is at first it feels really weird because your finger just slips across the string and it doesn't feel as secure as when you're playing head on, because head on you get a solid contact with the string, which initially can feel a little bit better. However, that's where the choppy sound comes from. So what I would suggest to start with is exaggerate the angle. Go as far along the string as you can. Really push it, because if you can get used to that, dialing it back from there to around that 45-degree mark is going to feel far more natural. And some more advanced tips for those of you who like digging deeper. What we are doing by playing at an angle across the string is reducing the friction between our finger and the string. When you're playing more head-on and you have more friction between the two, this will completely govern the volume range that you have. This is because you have a base level of friction to overcome before your finger lets go of the string, before that friction is gone. To overcome that friction, we need to pull the string harder, add more tension into it before letting go. That means that the lowest volume we can play is going to be maybe 4 or 5 out of 10 and not the 1 or 2 that we want to give us that largest range. On the flip side, our loudest notes, the louder we try and play, the more we try and dig into the string, play deeper through the string, we will add more friction with our finger getting caught on the string. This means the range from like 8 to 10 is also going to disappear, giving you that 4 to 5, 7, somewhere around there, which is the only volume range you have. By playing at an angle across the string, we get rid of this friction that we have to overcome to play a note, meaning we can play a really quiet note or a really loud note. giving us that volume range of 1 to 10, and this will of course improve all the dynamics in any piece you're playing. On the electric guitar and when using a plectrum, the ideas are exactly the same, but we execute them backwards. This is because when you're holding your plectrum, you play that way across with your elbow rotation rather than your fingers that play in towards your elbow. This means you're using the blade of the pick rather than the flat of the pick when you're playing. It'll be one blade, the leading blade when you're going down, and it'll be the back blade when you're coming back up. So just make sure that you're holding the pick nice and evenly, so when you're playing down and up, the angle that the pick is against the string is consistent. Otherwise, you'll get a bit of a wonky sound if the pick is leaning more one way than the other. Even though it might take a little bit of playing around for your hand to feel more comfortable playing across the string, as soon as you start doing it, you will get all of the benefits of much bigger volume range, much better tone, getting rid of that choppiness in your sound, and overall really developing your tone on the guitar. So let me know in the comments how you get on with this idea, and as always, like and follow for more ideas that'll help level up your guitar playing.